Welcome back, guys. So let's take care of the database connector. I'm going to be using MYSQL Workbench, but before that, let's go straight inside or into the codes here. Let's double click on the form there. Okay, I want to first of all initiate the connectivity, so let's scroll right up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and just, let's say, using namespace, and what I want now is MySQL that I've already connected. MySQL column data column MySQL clients. That is it. There we go. Now I've connected the library. So the next thing we want to do is let's come right down here. You see right down here where we have public reference class. I'm going to press enter, and what I want to do is I'm going to declare the following, create the following MySQL connection. Yeah, let's grab MySQL connection and at this, let's just give, okay, that is going to be my own object name or variable name. That is going to be garbage. New garbage is going to be my SQL connection. So that is the name of my object and is okay. Let's just put that in here. There we go. Alright, enter parentheses there and semicolon. The next thing that I want to do is I'm going to repeat the same thing. I need to get the command, so I'm just going to copy this and just change it around. So let's grab the command, and we will also create an object for it. So the object in this case is going to be SQL Command, and this is going to be command. There we go, and just grab, yeah, that's correct. Now grab that and paste that in here. There we go. Alright, so the next thing is I have to create another one for the data table. Data table there, and let's give that a name as well. I just call it SQL data table. SQL DT, that is equals new garbage name, and that is data table as well with a parenthesis. Okay, what else? I need MySQL data adapter. MySQL will be data adapter. That is it. And let's just give that a name. I'm going to call it MySQL DTA equals new data adapter. Garbage collector equals new data adapter. There. And what else do we need now? Let's enter that in there. That error should disappear. Okay, the next thing is I also need the reader, MySQL reader, SQL, that should be lowercase, reader, data reader. It's called data reader. Yeah, got it. So my SQL data reader, yeah, and that is going to be SQL RD, and data set. DS, that is equals garbage data set. There. Okay, so now I'm going to have to declare a string character that I'll use for part of the query. So let's say string. That's going to be my variable, the SQL query. There we go. Then I will now declare strings for the host, local host, username and password and so on. So let's come in and just say username. Well, server, let's look for the server first. Server, that is equals the local host. Now the next one is I'm going to call that username as equals, I'm just going to call that root. It is root anyway. And the password, I'm going to just make that as a password here. That will be equals, let's go for 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's my password anyway, and semicolon here. Then we also have string, the database itself, the database. So let me just make up a name for that. I have one that we have already used, but let's call this result. Result data. Okay, that's fine. Result data, right? Okay, now to get all of this working, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to put a function together. So let's scroll right down, right underneath for a pragma region. Okay, I'm going to scroll right down. Let's look for that right underneath the pragma and region here. And then I'll just create my function in there to enable the connectivity. That is it right underneath here. So let's start by using private system void. Just give it a name, copy it like that. Private system void, and the name is going to be update db. There. Now update db, I want you to do as follows. Let's get rid of this. Update db, I want you to do as follows. So let's say MySQL connect dash connection, that's connection string. I would like you to connect as follows. The server, get hold of my server, that will be equals plus server plus, and the next one is going to be username. That's a plus. Username equals, equals username. So all I'm doing is connecting all my database connector straight onto my SQL connection string. Now the next one that I want to connect will be the database. No, let's connect the password and so on. So I'm going to just come in here and enter that, plus press enter, go to the next line. That is going to be password as equals plus password. Okay, plus password and plus we now need the database. Get the database in. So I'm just gonna say database equals plus database. There we go. Alright, so now this SQL itself I want you to open up first. Okay, because that's where the database is now. So let's come right down here and just say open. And let's use the command here, command text. The command text, no, command, that should be command connection. So that is invalid. That should be connection, right? Just grab that. Okay, let's do this first, and let's just say SQL command dash connection equals MySQL command. Now this is where this becomes useful. So command text equals my SQL query times from result data. I believe that is the name of my database I intend to create. So let's scroll right up there and just check that out. Make sure it is correct. Yes, I think it's correct. It is correct. Right, that's my database name. So I've just used SQL to select from this database. Though the database is not ready yet, so we have to create one together. So the next thing now is we now want to use the reader. Let's say SQL reader. That would be equals SQL command dash execute reader. There. Once the reader is executed, we then also want it to get rid of n. No, it should be just execute reader. We then want it to be stored inside the data table. So we say data table, we want it to actually load. That will be load as follows: SQL reader. Finally, let's close the reader itself, and we will also close the connector. Close the connector. Close the reader first. There. Now close the connector. This is the one. SQL connect. I'm going to close that. There. Now there's one thing I would like to add: a table. Okay, let's do this. Let me just go straight to the design first. So right inside the design here, you see where we have student record. I want to add a table in there. So I'm going to go straight to the toolbox here, and let's grab hold of data grid view. Just dump that in here. I want you to display all the necessary information, or all of the student information. Right, so let's go back to my codes. Okay, right underneath here we are still creating the function. Now I'm now going to call that particular data grid view that I just added. Data grid view, yeah, one. Data grid view 1 dash data source equals, grab that from data table. There we go. That is it. So I've just completed my function, which I will now call on the form itself using form load. So with function form load, I'm going to grab hold of this. Okay, I think that's form load right underneath anyway. That's handy. And paste that there. Well, as you guys are aware, the database itself is not ready yet. Okay guys, for these to work as we want, let's create a database. So I'm going to open up my database here. So let's select the schema. See this one, create schema, create a new schema. There, click on that, and there my database name is, I called it results DB. Let's check that out. There we go. Result database is called. Let's paste that in there. So I'm going to create my database. Great. Now where we have apply, click on apply and click on finish. Okay, now let's come in here inside the schema here. Let's look for results database. There we go. That is it right there. Drop it down and let's select table. Right click and click on create. Give my table a name. I'm calling it exactly the same name. You see this double head arrow, drop it down, and the first column is going to be known as student ID. There. And I'm going to make that primary key is going to be of unique value. There we go. And it must not be empty. Followed by first name. Yeah, so I'm going to leave the data type as a virtual. In fact, the rest will just be virtual. The next one here is going to be surname, address, gender, date of birth, mobile, email. Now the next one, that would be course, and course code. Now I'm going to go for the subject area, so I'm going to call that module. That would be module 1. Let's highlight and copy and paste. In total I should have 29. Module 1, module 2, module 3, module number 4, module number 5, module 6, module 7, module 8. So they need to take 8 modules to pass the course. Now let's enter their score here. So the first one will be, let's say score, that should be score number 1. Score 1, score 2, no, paste that again, enter 2, try that again, copy the score here because I'm going to need it all over. That will be score 2, score 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we need total score, ranking, and date. In total I should have 29. So let's check that out now. Hopefully that should be 29. So let's click on apply, and I have from here, let's take it from here, that's 2. That should give me up to 30 here. Yeah, there we go. I have 29. That's correct. So let's click on apply and click on apply again. There, that is it. I've just finished creating my database. I'm going to just minimize that. Let's open up my program. There we go. So let's save that. To be sure that the database works when I run it, I should be able to see all of the necessary information on the data grid view right here. So let's build and run. Build is successful, so let's click on run. Okay guys, and let's check out my, there we go, look at that. You see, so the database is working. You see that? That is the whole purpose of the form load here. If I comment it out, you will see nothing will appear. Let's comment that. Let's run it now, and you see nothing will appear on the data grid view itself. It's coming up. Let's see, and click on that, boom, nothing. Okay, so the connection works. That is good. So let's go back to our design view. Okay, right inside the design view here, what I want to do is let's take care of this add button so that whatever data we enter in here we'll be able to populate it. So I'm going to double click on the add button, come right down here. First thing, let's copy this here. I'll make like a bit easy. Let's copy the up to here and paste that inside the procedural area of the add button. there. And right above the open, I'm going to use try. So if there's any error, I want the system to actually trap whatever error that I might run into. Okay, so that is fine. Now I'm going to take care of the cache as well. So come right down here, press enter. So underneath here, cache whatever error. So this one will display, that is exception. I'm going to call that EX. This one should display whatever problem that I might run into, exception EX. Come right down, open up a curly braces, and inside this curly braces I'm going to use a message box, but the message will be generated by the system. Message box column show, that will be EX dash message. So the system will actually generate whatever error that I might run into will be displayed by the system. It will identify whatever error that might be. So I'm going to now finally close my connection. So let's say finally, if there's no problem, close up my connection. SQL Command dash close there, and underneath let's display a message if the connection works as expected. So underneath here I'm going to ask the system to display the following message for me. So let's grab this, let's paste it right underneath here, and I'm going to just enter something simple in there. Let's say student results updated, something like that. Student result updated there. And I'm also going to call my function, which is update db. There we go. So that is taken care of. However, I haven't finished. So back into the try cache itself. Okay, right here. Now let's do as follows, so that we're able to query the system by using insert. So first of all, let's say SQL query. That was the string variable that I declared. SQL query equals insert into, if you guys can still recall my database, it's called result data, and the first column is called student ID, comma, first name, comma, surname, comma, address. If you guys can still recall, because I can remember all that. And I have a gender, comma, DOB, comma, mobile, comma, email, comma, after the email I have course. Okay, and let's go to the next line here. Now let's put a comma here, come out of it and just a plus, come right down here, and I now have course code, comma, looking good so far. Then I have, after the course code, and I have module 1, comma, grab that. Then we have module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5, module 6, 6. Module 7, module 8. Right, all my modules are in place. Okay, seems they're a little bit squashed together. Let's add a bit of room so that you guys can see. Okay, address. Yeah, that's fine. Email. Okay, bring this one down. Bring that down. Right, and here, get rid of this. Get rid of these as well. Just put the quote in here. And bring this one up. Okay. Then add a bit of room so that you guys can see it. Okay, that's fine. Then the next thing now is I need to add all of these calls. So I'm going to add another comma here and put a plus there, and let's say score 1. That is going to be score number 1. Copy that. Score number 1. Score 2. Score 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There, score 1 to 8. Done. Now the next one is going to be total score, comma, ranking, comma, and finally date. Okay, so the date is in as well. Close that up. Now come down here, and I want to get hold of the value, so come right down. To get hold of the value, everything is on the, that's on the component. So let's say values is as follows. The very first one, that is going to be txt student ID. Yeah, okay, txt student ID dash text. I've got the first one, so I want to say plus. This can be a little bit confusing, so I have to be careful here. Plus, there should be a comma here. Yep. The next one is going to be txt first name dash text. I'm missing something here. There. Now there should be a plus here as well. Okay, so that is fine. Let me grab hold of, I'm going to grab hold of it from here. It can be a little bit confusing sometimes. There, so this one will be surname. Okay, surname is taken care of. Then we also need to take care of address, comma, come out of it, and let's just enter plus there. Now let's take care of address. That's txt address dash text. Now txt address dash text, then we have here, that will be gender is CBO gender. Okay, then we have date of birth here. After that, we now have mobile. After the mobile, we have email. Okay, let's just grab this, paste it here. Okay, alright, looking good. I'm gonna now grab all of this, use that for my email. Come right down here, then we have email. That's email here. So all I'm doing is just calling the component, guys. So there's a special way you have to call them so that there won't be any error. That's why I'm being a little bit careful, or extra careful. Okay, now we have email. What else do we have after the email? We have course code. So the course code is going to be CBO course. CBO course, that's fine. Then we have TXT course code. Right, after the course code, then we're gonna have, after the course code will be CBO model 1 dash text. That's good. Okay, CBO model 1 dash text. Grab this, paste it here. Alright, I'm going to copy this now. That is for module number 2. Module 3. Okay, this will be 2, 3. Module 4. 5, 6. Okay, we have 7, 8. 7 and 8 here. Okay, that's fine. So we now have we've taken care of the modules. Let's take care of the results, the score. So underneath here, I'm just going to enter TXT score. Score 1 dash text. Score 1 dash text. I'm going to copy this, paste it right there. There we go. And copy this. Score 2, 3. 2 and 3. Copy all of this, paste that here. Then we have 3, 4, 5 and 6. We have 7 and 8. Score number 7 and 8. Okay, and here that's going to be total score. Total score. After the total score, no, it's LBL. It's not a total score. It's LBL total score. Right, that's good. Then we have 2 more. That is going to be LBL ranking. Then LBL date, LBL date. Right, that's all. So I'm gonna have to cancel all of these out. We don't need this anymore. Get rid of that, and here we should have a bracket. No, close the bracket here and there. Okay, and right underneath here we now need to say SQL command. That will be equals garbage collector new equals MySQL command, MySQL command. That'll be SQL query, comma, SQL connect. There we go. Alright, so why do I have this error? Okay, I think this is uppercase. This, okay, that should be new. Alright, okay, all gone. So SQL read equals SQL command dash execute reader, not end reader. We'll click on that and get rid of this reader. Execute the reader there. And finally, I also wanted to close the connector. There we go. Close. That should be closed here. Yeah, that is it. Alright, that's fine. Okay guys, let's try that out and see how it works. Okay, let's run it. Hopefully there's not going to be any error. It's coming out. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, that's fine. Okay, so let's come in here, just enter some student ID in there, and the name of the student I'm going to call it let's just say Felix. Frogner. And address of Felix Frogner, number 10. And just say Wales Way. And is male. Date of birth. Now mobile number. Okay, email as felix@gmail.com. Alright, the course is studying. I'm going to enter a course in there, but I cannot populate any of these yet. Let's just see the course code is. Just make that up. The faculty is School of Computer Science. And here, head of faculty, let's say Professor. Oh, that's me, Paul Oamen. And program leader, let's say Dr. Sami South. Course tutor, Dr. Larry, let's say London. Alright, London. Okay, the courses, let's just put that in there, whatever. Because all of these text boxes here are disabled, we won't be able to enter anything in here. And these other ones as well, these are all labels. So, well, the most important part is to try out the add key. Click on that. There we go. It's working, guys. I'm very pleased with this. Alright, I'm going to click on OK. So hopefully all of the data should be displayed here. There we go. Felix Frog now. And that's it. The ones that I'm missing is just these 3 here. That is it, guys. Okay. If I come in here now inside my database, let's see if we're going to be able to populate that. Let's come straight into our table. Where is it? That's table, and double click on the table. Oh, there we go. That is it. The database is working. That is fine, guys. I don't know if that trick will work. If I enter anything in there, will I be able to save it? Just enter something in there. I just want to see if this is gonna work. That was going to be third class. Dates. Let's enter today's date. 10/8/2001. Okay, I'm gonna click on apply. Yeah. Finish. Okay. So I've done it here. So let's see. Inside my database, it's not going to appear until if I run the program again. So I'm going to exit out. Let's run it again. Okay, click on run. Just come in. All right. Let's write down. Oh, look at that, he's there. That's cool. Alright, I just made that up. Okay, so that is fine. Okay, with that for now, I'm going to call it the end of this second part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly.